New details tonight in the search for a North Carolina teenager. Take a look at your screen. FBI investigators updated the picture of the SUV 13-year-old Hania Aguilar was forced into. It's a green 2002 Ford Expedition similar to this one.
A man dressed in all black, wearing a yellow bandana over his face, kidnapped the girl outside of her home in eastern North Carolina.
WFMY News 2's Alma McCarty has more on the search and how drivers always out on the road are keeping their eyes peeled.
Well, police say Hania Aguilar was taken this morning just before 7 a.m. in Lumberton. A man abducted her, forcing her into an SUV. It belonged to one of her relatives and was parked in the driveway. That kidnapping prompted an Amber Alert for the 13-year-old. Now, here's another look at that SUV officers are looking for, a 2002 green Ford Expedition similar to this one. South Carolina license plate number NWS 984. Investigators say paint is peeling from the hood and a Clemson sticker is on the rear window. Now, if you're driving around casually, you might not notice those details right away, but to truckers like Wesley Fountain, who travel interstates and back roads day in and day out, they remember those specifics and keep a lookout.
I just try to look for the actual vehicle, if it's a unique vehicle. Now, if it's a newer vehicle, then I'll memorize the tag itself, but that's how I do it. But normally I get the alerts on my phone. They're easier for me than the ones on the highway.
In his 10 years of driving, he's never spotted the subject of an Amber Alert, but he's got his eyes open for all kinds of hazards on the road.
I call in a lot of drunk drivers, but that's about it. Drunk drivers are people that are doing something silly or something I don't understand, or somebody's broke down.
Now back to that Amber Alert. Hania is 5 feet tall, 126 pounds, last seen wearing a blue shirt with flowers and blue jeans. If you have any information on her, call investigators. So far, the FBI has received almost 50 leads. More agencies will join the search for Hania tomorrow.